Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Kolai, and of course, this is an older video. But the purpose of this video is to show, can you mount a TV within 15 minutes? That's the whole purpose of this video. And if you're looking at the video length, yes, you already know what the answer is. Yes, you can mount a TV in 15 minutes. So I'm just gonna walk you through the process, okay? I left a lot of the audio in here, and the video is, showing in real time exactly what all it takes when, everything goes right. Because sometimes we all know what can go wrong will go wrong. All right, so this is what I'm gonna show you here. So I just took the TV out of the box. And then, of course, like how I do with every job, I like to clean back up behind myself. The purpose is, if you clean up behind yourself, you leave less work in the end. So that's what we're doing here. I'm just pulled out the TV. I'm putting everything back in the box. Makes everything looks a little bit neater. And it allows me to show that professionalism, okay? So after I put the TV in the box, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, loosen up the plastic. After I take the plastic off, I'm just going to, of course, get my my measurements in as far as the TV. Okay, I do this for every single job. So I'm tearing the paper, tearing off the wrapper now. I'm grabbing the mount because I'm going to put the brackets on the TV. All right. So if you know with anything, and how, TVs work, they have, different brackets come with different size, positions and levels and stuff like that. What they call them Versa mounts. This one is just a standard 2 bracket mount piece. Okay, so that's what I'm lining up now. I'm lining up the actual hooks, and then of course I'm going to pull out the bracket and grab the screws. Now each TV, there's a lot of people, I tell this to, they see screws left over, and of course the automatic thought is, what are these screws for? Okay, so the extra screws are for different size televisions. Okay. Some screws, so in the bags, I'll just do it this way. In the bags, you're going to see M4 screws, M6 screws, sometimes M5, and then M8 screws. The M8 screws are for larger size thread mounts, okay? Maybe I'll do a video on it. It's for larger size thread mounts. Then you have M6 screws. Those are going to be the most commonly used. You'll see M6 on anything from I'll say about 40-inch TVs all the way up to 75, and sometimes even 80. The M8 screws, different brands, mostly 75 and 85. You'll see M8 a lot. And primarily, you're going to see that with the Samsung brand. Okay, you will always see M8 screws with the Samsung brand. The smaller screws, the M4s, sometimes even M3s, you'll see those with the smaller end stuff. So that's your monitors, that's your 24-inch TVs, your 32-inch TVs. Those are what the smaller screws are for. I always tell my customers to hold on and keep your screws, just in case you buy another TV and you want to use the same mount and you don't have the screws. Okay, so I put the brackets on the TV. Now I'm just doing a measurement. So I already measured the bottom of the TV to the bracket, so I understand exactly where I want to go with this TV. And then I'm going to make my marks on the wall. After I do that, I find my studs. After I find the studs, it's really time to lay everything out, get a good picture of it. Sometimes I may want to go higher, sometimes I may want to go lower, depending on the size of the TV and where it's actually sitting at on the wall. So that's all I'm doing here. I'm just making my measurements. Measure twice so you can drill once. Once you have everything ready to go, we should be good. So now I'm just going to line the bracket up to those points that I've made. One point is for where the bracket needs to sit on the actual mount, and then the other ones are going to be where the studs are. Okay, that's what I do. I do this every single time, and it works every single time. All right, so right now I'm just marking exactly where the studs are, and then once we do that, we're just gonna start with our pilot hole and then start drilling and putting the bracket onto the wall. Okay, so that's what I'm doing now. As you guys know, the bits that I like to use are the multi-purpose Diablo bits from Home Depot. Okay, I love those bits. I use them pretty much on every single job. They have never failed me. Okay, and I've been utilizing these bits for the last 4 years now. Okay, it used to be the Bosch bits. Bosch still has them. You know, they used to sell them in Home Depot. They don't sell them there no more. But those are the bits that I used to use. And now I'm using strictly the Diablo bits. Okay, they have various different sizes. They have 1/8 all the way to a 1/2 inch, and that's pretty much all you're going to need when it comes down to, you know, your pilot holes. Okay, of course, if you're doing any type of toggle bolts, you're going to need that 1/2 inch bit. If you're doing, you know, if you're doing brick and you need to put anchors in the wall, you're going to use that 3/8 bit. But primarily, when you're just doing your pilot holes, really all you need is the 1/8. Okay, and if you're doing, you know, little anchors, like if you guys seen any of the Ring camera installs, you know, those little plastic anchors, those are going to be 1/4. Okay, those are going to be 1/4. So that's pretty much, you know, all the bits that I use. Okay, if you need to do something a little bit bigger, of course you can always, you know, go that route, but that's not going to be what I would advertise when I'm, you know, mounting TVs or anything like that. Okay, so I drilled my pilot holes, and now I'm just getting ready to lag these the bracket onto the wall. And once I do that, I always do one corner, then the bottom, and then, you know, crisscross it that way. And that just makes sure that the bracket is going to be level on the TV. Okay, so here, putting that last lag in, put the other two in, and then guess what? We are already 90% done. Okay, this is pretty much the hardest part of it, is just putting the bracket on the wall and then making sure that the bracket, the TV is not going to fall. If you put it in a stud, you are going to be good every single time. You just have to make sure that you're not, you know, drilling into any electrical or any PVC. So of course you always want to take your time when it comes down to mounting a TV. Okay, so now we have that. It's just time to mount it. Okay, so you're looking at, you know, the time, you're looking at the clock. Guess what? We're already 10 minutes in, and this is the last bit of it. Take the TV, mount it up, and then of course with this particular mount there's 2 screws that we're going to put on the back, and that's going to latch it to keep the TV from sliding to the left and to the right, because once you get your positioning, the TV does slide left to the right. If you want to center your TV or anything like that, you'll just slide it to the left and to the right. I tighten down afterwards. That way the TV stays in one position. Okay, so that's what I'm doing now. And then of course afterwards it's just maintenance, it's just cleanup. Okay, so here we got those 2 little plastic pieces there. Those are just covers. Those covers hide the actual light bulbs that we put into the wall. Makes things look a little bit more professional, look a little bit more cleaner. And now it's cleanup time, right? So let me show you guys exactly how it looks. Okay, this is our TV. That's the bracket on the wall. That's how it's mounted. So nice and clean. Okay, very nice and clean. This one is just a basic TV mount, so we're just dropping the cable down to the outlet, so that we're not hiding any cables or anything with this one. But I just want to show you guys exactly how an install would typically look. Okay, now we take off the cardboard, again clean as you go. Okay, and now we're going to take off the tape that's surrounding the TV, and then after we take off the tape, we got to test it. Okay, so this is normally how a TV mount will go from beginning to end. Alright, so again, cleaning up as I go. And then of course we're just gonna put the power cord in so we can make sure that the TV power's on, which technically that should have been the first thing that you do. You know, as doing this for as long as I've doing it, you will be surprised how certain TVs, when they ship them to your house, they are damaged. Okay, you will be surprised. So it'll be best, you know, for yourself as well as for myself, if you get your TV in, just plug it in, test it, make sure it actually comes on and powers on, because sometimes even if a box is clean, the TV a lot of times can still be damaged. Okay, so here we're just plugging the TV into the back, and then also on the bracket itself there are some Velcro straps on there to where you can kind of neatly wrap your cables, especially if you had an outlet behind the actual TV. And then how I always push my TVs is always top and bottom. You know, I always kind of guide my TV backwards, never really putting a lot of force on it, but just guiding it. And now, of course, I do my leveling. Afterwards, as you see, the Vizio is there and TV is 100% level. No further adjustments needed. All right, that's it. How to mount a TV in under 15 minutes. All right, see you guys on the next one. Appreciate you for watching the video.